WL Shuffle in classic Red Hook fashion. I was not streaming today, and I was taking a nap, and here comes the mod patch at 4:30 p.m. So, jokes aside, this is an exciting time. This is huge. I can't do the normal thing where I just read everything to you word for word. However, this is the first launch of mods as well as the Man-at-Arms and Jester reworks. This is going to be on the beta branch, which is called Coming in Hot or Experimental on EGS, for about 2 weeks, they said. And this is important. So if you switch your branch to Coming in Hot, you have to stay there until they're done, because sometimes, like, when you go back and forth, it can break the save, like break your file and stuff like that. And yeah, you can back up your file and just reinstall it, I'm sure, but, you know, just to avoid the headache, yeah. So they really did a good job on the mod menu, which I'll show in a sec here, but for anyone curious, if you want to get into mods yourself, I will link these with the video, but there's a modding guide, which is 52 pages, and it tells you how to mod the game. And then there's another one that is putting or making non-workshop mods and installing them, which is much shorter. But basically, what the workshop does is it takes the installation step out, so you don't have to worry about it. But since the game is set up to be modded on any PC platform right now, if you get a mod, you can just download the file and then transfer it into the mod folder yourself. Like, you make your own mod folder. It takes like 2 seconds. And this is normally how you have to install stuff from, like, Nexus, for instance. Nexus mods, you have to directly install them yourself most of the time. So this isn't too bad. Other than that, tons of changes. Man-at-Arms got reworked. Courageous Abandon doesn't suck anymore. Bellow lost some speed. I don't necessarily agree with this, just because enemies are fast AF already, but we'll see how it plays out. Defender has a cooldown. Very happy with that. So finally, less... You actually have to do a rotation with Man-at-Arms, you know? Possibly. Maybe. Old Line gets more mobilized. Stand fast. Gives taunt base, but I think it's just Wanderer. So for anyone who's like, no, I need more taunt, Chef. I don't want it nerfed. I want to press the stupid blue air horn. Well, now it's in another place. It is on Wanderer, though, which I'm okay with, because, like, Wanderer is where people aren't, you know, investing too much into paths themselves and experimenting. Like, if you just play the base team a few times and you like Man-at-Arms, you pick this up, and that's okay. Sergeant is now a rank 3 or 4 path. It's odd. It's pretty much a rank 4 path. So, we'll show that, but the Crush change, it can be thrown out of 4. It just looks goofy, in my opinion. Crush and Crush Plus can heal the party if he's in the back on combo instead of healing himself. Retribution cooldown went up. Interesting. Oh, that's for plus, but yeah. A lot of the moves just got changed entirely. Like, Stand Fast is now the Sergeant buff with Move Resist. You can just throw it on a person that you want. So that's pretty cool. Bulwark has, I believe, combo, not combo, but just stun baseline. If you have, yeah. If you have block. So if you have enough tokens, you're going to see this. It's all, like, dependent on block tokens for a lot of these moves. If you have enough block tokens, then you get extra effects, a lot like Conviction. So that's an interesting way to take it. I personally don't mind. You know, I think that's cool, interactive, got to think about it and stuff. But otherwise, it's pretty much, I think this is the old version of Stand Fast here on Bulwark, where it doesn't give you taunt, but it clears combo like the old Wanderer version, and then you still generate block each turn, so it helps with the other stuff. Vanguard was already his best path. Well, possibly. I think Sergeant was really good back in the day too, which was an hour ago. But yeah, Old Sergeant was fine. Possibly his best path. And now it might just be Vanguard alone at the top, because this just gets so much damage out the ass, man. You got Riposte gets damage, like the more it gets used. Courageous Abandon ramps up in damage the more it gets used. So, interesting. And it's a lot like the Intrepid Duelist, where when you use, I think, the coup de grace, it clears the path buffs and debuffs, and it's the same thing with Bellow in this case. The trinkets got reworked. Price of Pride doesn't change too much. It just gives you the riposte off of Rampart instead of chance for Bellow to stun. But the other two, you know, got changed a bit. Finale and Finale Plus are now considered range skills. This doesn't sound like a big thing at first, but if you use things like Gnarly Knuckles, for instance, you know, something that increases specifically range damage or melee damage or range, then Finale either gets picked up or not picked up. So it's a small buff to or nerf to those mid-tier trinkets. But otherwise, was a Wanderer pretty much plays similar. Encore is pretty much, it's the same as the Intermezzo version, where when you use it, the target gets an action, but they bleed. But it's only on Wanderer and Mezzo. For Virtuoso and Soloist, they have different Encores. So this is a good way to make it so you still want to use Wanderer, because Mezzo is going to be pretty gamble heavy, as we're going to see, but also with Wanderer, you don't get the gamble aspect, but you also get the extra turn. And I think that's going to be enough, right? That alone is worth taking Wanderer, to have like a simple to play Jester that can also give extra turns. And I like that it's on Wanderer, so all the paths later get confusing. But yeah, so Virtuoso is focused on Encore. It changes to where it hands out a bunch of like random buffs that you can build up. And then you hit Encore and it throws them out. And then with Soloist, it's sort of the same thing, where it keeps buffing up Finale instead. Kind of like DD1, where, you know, you'd use Battle Ballad and it would give Finale damage and crit for 8 turns, so whenever you threw it in those 8 turns, you would get the bonus. So you could stack up a bunch of buffs and then drop it. And it's kind of like that in this. So the more stuff you're doing with Soloist, eventually you get, you know, some big Finale buffs, and you toss it out and do stuff. And there's a lot of text, but this is because they have to document every single change that happened to the moves. Although Solo and Solo Plus grant taunt. That's pretty cool, because it has this thing where if you get missed with Jester, then he gets a buff. And so having Solo and taunt is a little bit risk reward and stuff, so that's pretty good. Mezzo really just, like, if people are it's weird. So like for Inspiring Tune, for instance, it's a full party stress heal, but it only activates if people have 5 stress or more, or they're bleeding. And if you know Mezzo, it bleeds the team. So now you have the ability to stress heal people that are also bleeding. So you kind of get this nice small buff off of that. But otherwise, it's weird. And I think one of those songs, I think his Ballad, has like a chance of extra action, but it's like 5%, something like that. Naturally, the trinkets got changed too. And then after that, there was, what else happened? Rallying Cry got reworked. Now removes all blind, weak, and vuln from the target instead of, I think it used to do daze, which, if it's the one I'm thinking of, like the Wanderer version, that was okay. I don't know. Skull Toss increased cooldown, and at first I was thinking, great, now it's just going to spam Howl, but no, now it can rend from the back, so it's more likely to just like Skull Toss and then rend. And we'll see how that happens. This might be worse, right? Because with Rend, you get a disease and a bleed, so you have a chance of someone dying. I don't know. Oh no, implication nerf. Misfire counts as a missed attack instead of a non-hit. No. Increased spawn rate of hard swine mashes during resist encounters. Are you serious? Swine mashes already work kind of tough. Boss spoilers, I'm not going to click that. I forget what it is, but otherwise, that's the whole thing on Discord. And like I said, I'll link stuff down there, but I'm going to turn this off. And we're going to go back to the game. So mods are probably the more exciting part of the patch. I like hero balance and stuff like that, but I definitely know mods are something people have been begging for pretty much since the game dropped in like 2021, and now it's here. And it's got some... They went really far with this, and they didn't have to, but it's one of those things where, like, I appreciate them for it, you know? They didn't have to drop a guide on how to do it if you're not on Steam, and they didn't have to update the menu like they did, because in DD1 they just added a tab that you would hit for mods. But now, if you haven't noticed, the menu's in 3D now. And when you click mods, what? It's crazy. It looks so sick. They didn't have to do that. You know, the funny thing is Chris had to paint the back of the mountain now. Probably wasn't him, but someone had to do it, you know. But this is cool. And so you got your normal situation. This got cleaned up a bit down here. Unless it was... No, was it on the side? I can't remember. But yeah. And when you flip over to mods, you get new profiles. So it says change profile. And this is my joke profile. Don't pay it any mind. But what's cool is, you know, you'll start with nothing. This is a blank profile. I just renamed it. It starts with darkest. And then down here it says import save data. Where, did I already import one? Okay, may have to do this, yeah, okay. And so you can pick your profiles from the non-modded version, and you can copy them to the modded version. Right now, you should still probably make a backup of your original profiles, just in case. And all you do is you go into the game folder, literally just grab the profile, and then just copy it, and then just put it somewhere. Then you can put it back in. But yeah, so if you want to take one of your profiles and copy it over, you can do that. And the mod menu is a little busted, but this is understandable. Like, this is literally day one. So a lot of the thumbnails don't work. These are supposed to be the workshop thumbnails. And I assume this is load order to like move stuff around, but I haven't been able to get them to move yet. And for those unaware, usually when you mod games and you have like a list, the game will load it in order from like top to bottom. It did this in DD1, it did this in like Bethesda games, Skyrim. And the purpose is sometimes you have to load something else to get something to work. And so it's probably gonna be the case here. Like, there's gonna be some crazy mod in the future, but it'll say you have to install, you know, John Redhook's new data files first, and then you can install the classes, something like that. And the thumbnails, most of them are broken, but one isn't. Faithful Trinkets. This is pretty awesome, because you can read the description in these with the drop down, and then you can click to enable, you can enable all, you can disable all. So that's really cool. And I'm really thankful they did that. Like I said, they didn't have to, but they did. And so as we go forward, I'm gonna start doing various mod reviews. Like if they're just short things like palettes, color palettes, I'm just do like a roundup or something. I'm gonna put them all together and show them. But if it's something in depth, like where is it? There's I think it's called like Darkest to Light. It just overhauls the altar, and I kind of want to, you know, I'd have to make a dedicated video for that. So where is one of my last things? Yeah, right here. So this is something that redoes the Altar of Hope, changes it up. It doesn't even fit in the whole description. Very cool. But like, just as an example, I mean, I really love this menu. They did such a good job with this. And for those unaware, in DD1, both the roster and the mod menu did not have the scroll bar. You could not drag this up and down. Maybe not, maybe the mod menu did, but to my knowledge, I know the roster didn't, but I don't think the original one had this either. Now you can just do this. All you need is a search function, and then this is just insane. But yeah, let's turn on a mod, see if it breaks our game here. This is the palette pack from Adrian, which she does some pretty cool stuff. We're gonna load up here. Oh, perfect. I'm at the crossroads. I don't even have to make a cut. All right, let's see. Surgeon. Wait, what? Default. Was that just a bug? Yeah, okay. Aggressor, Banneret, Templar, Rusted Green. Yeah, this looks pretty sick. I really like this. I like rust as a color. You know, normally, like if I want to get something that wasn't like a normal car color, for instance, I get rust, like that dark orange. I really like that. And now we got this. What's another one? Oh, Duelist doesn't have one yet, I think. Vestal does. The Vestal one's really good. This gold. This looks so good. The white too. I love it. I absolutely love this. We're doing a mod review already. Look at that. Flag. I don't know what his is. Gilded purple. Oh my god, this is kind of sick. He's got the gold. I mean, that is what gilded is. It's gold, but gold plated or whatever. Bonnie, what's she got? Olive. It was right there. Got some red highlights in the hair. This looks great too. This is this is the thing I was most excited about with mods. It's like palettes, because I'm one that like usually enjoys the base game the most in, you know, games. The mods are fun and stuff, but I usually always come back to the base game. And having palettes is something I just love dearly. I can't tell you why. This is the new one, Emerald. Green and black. Looks very good. Let's see. Lepore. Tempest purple. Oh, it's got like some texture in there. That's good. Looks like a quilt. Just took this from from Grandma's house and then walked out with it. Does Leper have let's say, does his armor go to his back? I mean, it's got the spikes. I never noticed that. He's got the huge plate, by the way. And as I always said, the smith had to put these muscle marks in there. He doesn't make these naturally with his muscles into the metal. So I hope he paid extra. Rose pink. That's a little bright for me, but it's still funny. It's cool. I think Hadrian was asking for other ideas, and I said cotton candy. So maybe it's Jester. Maybe we get cotton candy Jester. Hellion got brunette. This is from DD1. This is her color 2. So it was like a blue and like dark hair type of thing. Blue-black. And now it's here. Man-at-Arms. I guess, is it Duelist that doesn't have one? Like everyone else got one? Oh no, yeah. The black and red Man-at-Arms, in case you had to... This is... You met my friend Man-at-Arms. I'm the evil twin, Man-at-Legs. So stupid. Me, not the mod. The mod's fantastic, but... I'm just making dumb jokes. I think Dismas gets one. Yeah, it's literally just... Duelist. Why'd the Duelist hate? She's gonna get pants that say, like, juicy on the back or something. Please don't do that. But this leather looks really nice, too. It's good. And then Audrey gets one I'm a huge fan of. Wait, she gets 2! That's right. That's why Hadrian's the best, dude. Frickin' giving our girl all of the drip. So we get the pink or the lavender. Inspired by Taylor Swift's Lavender Haze? I don't know. Does it clip on the other ones? I'll have to look later. Silva. This is like a vampire one. I'm surprised it has the blood on the back. And not the front. Well, kind of in the front. But this is definitely like vampire Audrey. And I think that's perfect. You know, she's an aristocrat. Those usually tend to be vampires, as history has shown. And now she has that too. Magenta. This is like black and pink. If you want your goth GF PD. So there you go. Oh, that's right. I forgot to talk about the freaking hero changes. I was about to end the video, dude. Oh, goodness. All right. Oh. So, Man-at-Arms. Defender got a cooldown. Very good. We're going to speed through some of these. This is Wanderer. A lot of things remain the same. Bellow got slightly nerfed. Sad face. Command change. It's no longer removing the cooldown. This is actually a command nerf. People are going to be like, what? No, you know, now I get to give someone 2 strength and do something else. And that's pretty good. But you also don't get to clear blind constantly anymore. So, in terms of action economy, it's more efficient. In terms of utility, it's less efficient. So maybe it's not a nerf, just a change. Standfast is the only one that gets taunt now. Courageous Abandon. Need block. Deals more damage with block. Ignores enemy block. And when it's upgraded, like, you need the mastery pretty... Well, you don't need the mastery. Because at 2 block tokens, it doubles damage. Pretty solid. And with the mastered version, at 3 block tokens, this can be block or block plus. It doesn't matter what the combination is. It's just showing you need a shield of some kind. Then it gets Execute 2. It's a highly conditional Execute 2, but Execute 2 historically has been absolutely freaking nuts. It is very powerful. Strategic Withdrawal somehow escaped the freaking nerf hammer, and I think it's because no one masters this. They see this and go, I don't want that. And they forget that this exists. But it's another... You know what? It's not another topic for another time. This mofo just got changed. Anyway. So with Sergeant, Bellow, you have to put him in rank 4 now because Bellow gives the team speed, and then when mastered, it gives or removes negative tokens off the team in front of him. So if you remember like the Warlord helmet, where it buffs the person behind you, there's a Tangle Trinket that buffs the people behind you, stuff like that. This is something for in front of you. So they're starting to get more into that, which I kind of like. This helps... Sometimes it helps dance teams. This one doesn't really. This is like you want to put Man-at-Arms in the back and just leave them there. Give them strong shackles. Let them sit there. Crush. This heals the team in head of people on combo. It's only 2 points instead of like a percentage, but 2 points. I mean, that gets people off Death's Door. That's good enough. It's so weird that it's 2 points. It could be 1 point. And people go, well, why is it 1 point? You know, that does nothing. It's like, yeah, but it gets you off Death's Door if that happens. And... You know, people used to argue against that in DD1. They'd say, why do I need comfort to get 4 people off Death's Door? Because that doesn't happen. Well, for one, it's not just about that. This is a small tangent. But being able to hit everyone with comfort would prevent you from getting 4 people to Death's Door because it was such an efficient healing. You heal 1 person. Like, if you already healed 2 people with Divine Comfort in the first game, it was already more healing than Grace. It's efficient, all right? I digress. In DD2, it is definitely more common for multiple people to get slammed into Death's Door, like Librarian hitting Burn Bright over and over if he ignites and you mess up, right? There's a lot of instances of the enemy just cleaving your team repeatedly. So that happens with Crush. Command. I think this is a battle-long buff, but I think it expires when they use it 1 time. And this is actually cool. So you can give someone the ability to put a combo down. But since it doesn't matter what the attack is, you can do something like combo Magnesium Rain, combo Anamnesis, you know, combo... If he can give it to himself, combo Bellow. No! Oh my god, I don't know if that works. You know, I have to check that out because I don't remember. But, you know, it'd be stupid. You know, next hit applies combo, but you give your team speed? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it doesn't work. But Standfast, this is the old Sergeant buff where he would just give random dot res to people. And now it's a move. But also gives move resist. So this is... If it was just the dot res, I would say this isn't that good. Now you give move res... Okay? You know, like if you're fighting Region 1 Leviathan, you can master this and just give the other person, like people up front, move resist so they don't get scooped. Very cool. And then Retribution got an interesting one. So again, all allies ahead get strength if they are under 3/4, but upgraded if they're injured at all. they get strength. And if they're low HP, they get crit. So that can be pretty helpful. And then we have Bulwark. We get Riposte inflicts daze. I don't think Riposte changes on this or this, right? Yeah. So Bulwark, your Riposte can inflict daze. That kind of helps with the Bulwark playstyle, but Bellow changes where it removes, was it Strength, Riposte, and Crit off the enemy team, not just one person, the whole team, which is good. That's helpful. There's sometimes, like, in the Shroud, Captain can, you know, buff the whole team immediately, so you can actually counter that almost 1-to-1. Besides, like, the dodge and block and stuff. Like, Crit's a sticky token. Crit and Riposte are the most annoying to get rid of, and he can do that pretty good. Let's see. And it has no cooldown mastered. Hold the line. If you have 2 block tokens, it inflicts stun. We're slowly inching back into stuns after a two. It came out in 2021. After almost 3 years, we're finally creeping back into stuns very slowly. We're learning that it's okay, that they won't break the game when we start giving them less hoops to jump through, because there aren't trinkets that give us a ton of stun chance, and there aren't like easier access stuns, and there aren't other things that helped it thrive before, and the enemies actually have good stun resist, and there's modifiers, right? Like, there's already so much to counter stuns that it felt over nerfed, and we're slowly inching back into that. And so with 2 block, you get stun. With 3 block and it's mastered, you pierce 30% stun res. That's pretty freaking huge. And it doesn't immobilize them. I didn't catch that the first time. Is the Man-at-Arms dance stream for stun spam real? Is it here? Is it happening? He gets blocked when using this. It can keep looping. That's crazy. I'm excited. I want to try that. And then, what is it? Rampart kind of missed, I would say. The damage is still low. It only knocks back 1, and it inflicts immobilize twice if you have 2 block on the unmastered version. So here's, like, yeah, you can, like, an Evangelist is a good example. Evangelist has, I think, they have 40 move res. They might have 40 debuff res too. Maybe like 30, 40. But there is a universe where you want to hit that rank 2 Evangelist into 3, so she can't use her crit token to slam the front of your team. Or you don't get the move, the knockback off it, but instead you just immobilize her in rank 2 and she is not going anywhere. So there's times it can be pretty good, and there are some times it can backfire, and it's really low damage for that. So I guess just make sure, just track your block tokens. Mastered, it gets much better because you get all that res piercing, and it's a knockback 2. Like, it should probably be knockback 1 at base, or 2 at base also. Because this way you can hit someone in rank 2 and throw them all the way to back pretty consistently, and then they're stuck. And then finally for Bulwark, we have Standfast. This is old Standfast, where it removes combo and upgrade. You get block every turn. This is what it used to be outside of, I think, Bulwark before. Because I think Bulwark had the taunt Standfast, and now they moved it. And then finally we have Vanguard. To many people, already the best Man-at-Arms path. After the patch, probably the best Man-at-Arms path. Alright, let's dissect this. So every time, the thing with Vanguard is it scales up over a long period. So after 5 things with Riposte and Courageous Abandon that we'll see, it gets stronger. So this is really good for drawn out fights. Road fights, not as much, but I mean, getting like 2 buffs and being able to do a couple extra damage probably helps anyway. And it operates a lot like in Intrepid Duelist, where she buffs herself, and then, you know, if you don't want to deal with the buffs because they start getting dangerous, you can get rid of them. And with Vanguard here, every time you're opposed, you get 1 damage and lower your dot res by 8. This isn't a big deal. And the reason it's not a big deal in terms of the dot res is because of Ordainment. So all these 30s down here, when you start fighting Ordained enemies with their 10% res pierce, you're already down to 20. It's sticking anyway, so who cares? So you can just drop this all the way down. It won't matter. And instead, you get +5 damage on Repose. That's freaking huge. And then let's see. The Courageous Abandon and Repose effects are called Vanguard buffs and debuffs, much like the Intrepid buffs and debuffs. Bellow. Entirely different move. So if you have any of the buffs, you can accelerate it. Same with the debuffs. So if you have... actually, because I think it works that way. You always get a debuff too. So your buffs and debuffs can... What is it? Give you 2 extra stacks every time you hit this. So if you get like 1 Repose, 1 Courageous Abandon, you can just hit this and start doing stuff. And it's already kind of ramped up. And then you get stress for getting this hit. And on the master version, ignores debuff at full stack. So I'm assuming that the dot res thing and the minus max HP goes away. Courageous Abandon though. Every time you use this move, it gets damage. There's no more stacking block tokens and all that. You hit it when it's mastered or unmastered, you get 2 damage up to 3 times. So you can get up to +6 damage, which makes this 10 to 12. Pretty strong. And you lose 18 HP maximum. So if you have, what does he have right now? 46, he'll go down to 28 and he'll stay there until you get rid of it. And then on master, it can stack up to 5 times. The damage is still the same, but it can stack more, and the crit goes up, and the HP penalty goes down. But it actually is still more HP loss. So instead of -18, you get -20. But you also have a 14 to 16 damage hit every turn with 15 crit. That's right. You give him a strength token, it is 21 to 24 every turn. Yes. Every turn. Vestal is now Man-at-Arm's best friend because she can give him Consecration of Light and then guard his ass so nothing bad happens. Before moving on, got confirmation from my fantastic, beautiful Discord that you should join from Wagner. Very awesome person, and they already tested this for me. Well, not for me, but they tested it and they said that this does not apply combo to your own team, at least with buffs and heals. So... no shenanigans to ensue. Then we have Jester. And Jester went through quite a lot. So I think... okay, so Finale doesn't do double damage on max anymore. Or like on combo. So the damage went down a bit. Good, because this hit way too hard before. And I still got all the same debuffs. But now, if you kill something, you remove 1 stress, which is a bit... like, I guess it's fine in the grand scheme of things. But I'm just thinking of, you know, Legacy, where in DD1, you took increased stress damage after you hit Finale. Like, it was supposed to be that way. Which I don't mind. I think this is better. But just interesting they changed it. The thing is, to execute 1 on something that hits this hard is... it might be too good, we'll see. But it is mastered, so that's fine. And then you get -2 stress if it kills. And the rest of his stuff is pretty much the same on Wanderer. Except Ballad and Playout. You can use them in 4. You can use Playout in 4 instead of 1. So. And then March is the same. And then Encore, they just gave it the Mezzo effect where you take 2 bleed, and you still get the extra action and stuff, and you debuff yourself and all that. And the way they're going to make you play Wanderer, if you want to, is Encore gets the extra turn here and on Mezzo, and that's it. The other 2 don't get it, and that's fine. That's totally fine. So with Virtuoso, no longer affected skills none. With Virtuoso, no longer affected skills none. We have changes on the song, so Ballad. And all these, you're going to see this with Soloist too, but it says it buffs the next skill use. In this case, next Encore. So the next time you press Encore, it does all these buffs that you stacked up. Because right now, right, it just looks like gobbledygook. And with the text, it's a little bit misleading because you look at this and you go, this is the exact same. Because the yellow text is supposed to show what changes normally. But it shows the whole thing being the same. The difference is that Encore upgrade, it gets 4 uses. So definitely better for later in the game. And you get to apply all the stuff that you saved up. And so, for instance, Ballad gives the Encore effect to give strength and then eventually crit, which is what it does already. So that's pretty cool because I believe this hits the entire team. Yeah. So you stack up all your buffs and then you dump them on the team after a couple turns. That can be really good. And then with Tune, you get the stress resist upgraded. You know, it's still the same move. You get stress res. It doesn't cure horror anymore. Good to know. And if the target has 7 or more stress when you hit Encore, or no, when you hit it, not even Encore, they get 100. They get stress immunity for 1 turn, which is what Virtuoso used to do. That's massive. That's massive. What are the other ones? March. Let's see. Knockback 2. Okay. So, and you get speed off it. That's interesting. So with why this is already better than freaking than Rampart, man, on the Bulwark. But yeah, so you get speed off your Encore, and then every turn it keeps pushing stuff back. This is gonna straight up own some enemies like Evangelist if it sticks, because they always need to be in the front. So any enemy that has to be up front, you can also use it on the rank 3 person. So you just lock them into 4, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but when you have certain enemies like the bandits, you know, the axe bandit, hatchetman, they do like a really weak poke attack out of 4. They can do low blow out of 3, but they do nothing essentially out of 4. So you can keep pushing them into 4. That was another one. Okay, we looked at Encore Finale. I was like, what changes here? It doesn't get the guaranteed stress removal. Each ally on killing blow, that's why. Ooh, okay, so we get a lot of stress healing here. So that's pretty good. No execute, totally fine. Aspiring Tomb we looked at, play out. You know, does the same thing. Next Encore move, combo and stuff. Those are really good, actually. And then Solo is just a pile of text. So it doesn't put you in the front automatically. Just gives you plus, goes forward 2, no cooldown. And it makes it so when you hit your next Encore, it heals negative tokens off you, both like unmastered, it's a chance, mastered, it's guaranteed. Requires target comboed. So this is a combo effect. If you can spread combo on the entire enemy team, which is something you can do with Man-at-Arms now. You give them that command hit where he gives you guaranteed combo. So have someone else do it. And then you can solo and give everyone, you know, negatives. And the upgraded version is still very relevant because it says target random negative token, target combo, which means it keeps the combo on the target. So you can either do your other move that you want to use combo for, or you can just keep ramping it up over and over, which is nice. I think it's pretty cool. All right, so those are the Virtuoso changes. Jester, like the Man-at-Arms changes were, you know, I don't want to say simple, but there's definitely less text and they were less complicated. And Jester, these are very in depth. The skill ceiling on Jester just went like way up, you know, almost to duelist level. It's crazy. Yeah, so Soloist, you don't get the minus speed and HP anymore, thank goodness. And let's see, Finale receives bonuses from Ballad, Playout, and Harvest. No Slice Off, which is a bit odd. But so gain when missed, melee skills deal +1 damage. Next Finale deals +2 damage, stacks up to 3 times. I don't know if these last the entire battle or what. I assume they do, but let's see. And so Finale, is a lot like Encore off Virtuoso, where you just all the buffs you stack up, you burn them right there. So that's why it says remove next finale buffs, remove melee damage buffs. Okay, so that's where they go. So when you use finale, that gets rid of them. So charging it up, Ballad, target forward 1 gives them, it's like the same effect, baseline, but next finale ignores blind, and then mastered ignores dodge. Pretty freaking good. I think he has a block ignore, right? It's gonna be play out. Yep. So play out, you know, next finale, ignore guard, mastered, ignore block. So between these two, you get through everything. Good luck getting a combo on someone under a guard. You can do it. Not the easiest. But I feel like that's going to be the only thing in its way at that point. Let's see. Play out solo. Okay. Solo, this is very close to the DD1 version, where he marked himself. He give himself a ton of dodge. He'd use Mark. Mark was like the taunt precursor. It wasn't as good. I mean, definitely not nearly as good as taunt. And you could still make use of it if you knew the game mechanics, because they don't always target the mark target. It's always, or it's more, if they get mark synergy, they're like more inclined to hit the mark target. And you give yourself taunt and 2 dodge plus tokens. I would master this immediately if I was going to use it. Like, dodge is just too sketchy. Dodge plus is barely serviceable. But yeah, so this is how you're going to get your melee buffs charged up. They're going to solo, dodge a couple times, and then you get your buffs. Or if you just want a dodge tank, you know, this is another obsession strat right here. Speaking of obsession guide, the next day or two, I'm pretty much done with it. I've got like literally 5 minutes left to fix, and that's good. That's the smallest side. And then we have Harvest. Harvest is a weird one, because you don't get the bleed, so it doesn't really give you a lot of damage. You still get the random combo application. And when you use Finale, you heal yourself. And if the target is bleeding, since you can't inflict bleed, when you hit Harvest, you heal yourself also. So something like the literal bleed comp. So now you can use, for instance, Berserker Hellion can use if it bleeds and just poke those targets, and then Jester can keep healing off it. That'd be interesting. Yellow Hand also comes to mind. But that's pretty much where the bleed synergy ends right now. To my knowledge, I guess Occultist, but he bleeds your team too. And so you stack up all these buffs off Harvest, Play Out, Ballad. You don't have to get all 3 of these, I would say, or all 4, or whatever it is. You know, I would really just... Actually, no, you probably do want to pick up at least these 2, depending on the fight. Actually, you know, that's the interesting thing. Because are you going to need to ignore blind and dodge and guard and block at the same time? Very, very rare to have all that happen at once. So, with that in mind, you can just hit Ballad on someone. If you're even in rank 2, you know, you could Ballad someone and then Finale the next turn out of rank 2. And then you get the ignores blind and stuff. So you can really pick the buff you need at that moment and then do it. And I'm not sure how good this will be, because the damage is a bit lower. Obviously, you want the buffs. And it also has a use limit. I don't know if that's for all of them or not. Yeah, oh, cooldown 3. So Soloist gets a use limit. I knew that looked different. The reason I'm a little hesitant is because while you're sitting here doing this and trying to ramp up, you know, because giving, like, if this is unmastered, giving someone strength and moving them is a decent turn, and you ignore blind to throw this later. And then same with like these other buffs, you know, like you're spending time setting these up for like the perfect kill or the perfect hit. And you haven't noticed, sometimes the game doesn't let you do that. It's not very accommodating for slower playstyles, but you could try it. So it's got a cooldown, and really you only need to use this 3 times in a fight, presumably because of the use limit. But so when you use it, it restores your last Finale buff. So you can bring all of these back on like 1 button press and go back up to the front. It should restore the, yeah, it restores the melee damage too, because those should be considered Finale buffs. Wait, are they? Does it say? Oh no, it's Finale. It's not the path, right? Because Vanguard had it as Vanguard buff. So I'm assuming the melee buffs don't work, because it says here it removes, yeah, melee damage buffs. So they're two separate things. Okay. So yeah, you can just give yourself all your buffs back, blast something, give yourself speed. I hope Metzo's not as involved, because I want to eat my sandwich. Shoof is hungry. I have a nice hot sandwich that someone got for me. It's just going cold. I'm staring at it. Going cold because I'm doing this video for you. All right. Mezzo is the casino, straight up. We'll start with Battle Ballad, and this is what Mezzo used to do. It bleeds your own team, so you can guarantee give them a strength token and move them, and then you have a chance to give them strength, greater speed, and when it's upgraded, you have a chance to give them combo when using it, and then another chance to give them combo, and then on the master version, it gives you 5% chance of an extra action. Is a 6 damage bleed worth, like, on average, 2 strength tokens, or like a strength and a speed? Debatable? Does it justify an extra turn? Because that's what old Encore does? No, I don't think so. Let me know if you press this button, because I really dislike the 2x3 bleed. I wish it was like 1, because this will punish the squishy characters way too much. Just straight up, like, way too much. Have it do like 10% damage when you hit it instead, but Mezzo's supposed to be the self-leader, so I guess that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe I'll use it and it's cool, but right now I don't like this too much. Echoing March is the same. Finale is in some ways better than Soloist. Like, you can ignore some defenses, or maybe get a heal. You have 3 uses. But then you look at Mezzo. You have the chance to double your damage if they're bleeding and comboed, and it's a cooldown 3, no use limit. Finale's a bit, like, good on this path. It might be too good, because you get the same damage, but then you get the combo bonus damage, which I don't know why deals is yellow. Like, this is definitely a tooltip error. But if they're bleeding also, you get even more damage, which kind of might be better than this, because this has a cooldown 3, and then on Soloist it's got 3 uses, so I guess you could rapid fire it. That's okay. Then on Wanderer, you know, you get the execute, but if you get 50% more damage, you have a better chance to death store them, and if they're bleeding, it's essentially execute 1 anyway. Is this secretly the best Finale? I don't know. It might be. Tune is quite the thing here. So I'm glad this is a 1x3 bleed, and you have requires target over 5 stress, and later on it's stress or bleeding, and it hits the entire team. And you're probably thinking, why do I want to bleed my entire team? Only heal 1, possibly 2 stress. And it's because when this gets mastered, you know, if they're bleeding, you stress heal them anyway. So you ignore the 5 stress condition. So if everyone's bleeding, you can just keep everyone's stress down to 0. You're going to keep bleeding yourself. But if this is resistible, you know, you can deal with this just fine. And you can spam all your stress down. Actually, no, it's got a cooldown too. So I guess you couldn't spam it down, but is this bad? This went from, like, it could be really good to, like, is this just bad? Like, you heal a stress off the whole party, like old ounce, but it's every 2 turns. Like, does it need the cooldown if you're bleeding your whole team at that point? I don't know. I'm not sure how to rate this one. I don't think it's that good. But oh well. Play out. Gets the bleed stuff. And this is what I was talking about with the casino. So you get the old mezzo stuff on top of what Ballad or Playout normally does, where, you know, they move, they get block. Although this doesn't clear combo, which I think it does in the other versions. Is it 1 or 2? Yeah. Soloist? Yeah. So mezzo doesn't clear combo. That's a bit strange considering, you know, you're bleeding yourself for 6 or you're bleeding your teammate. But with playouts, you got a chance of getting extra block, dodge, or speed. And when it's mastered, block plus, dodge plus, speed, or random chance for a full heal. That's why I was calling it the casino. And that's... I mean, I guess these are cool. I don't know, like if you go a song build with Jester and you just spam these two over and over, let me know how it goes. Please. I'm very curious. And then solo has the old... this is what the old mezzo solo was anyway, where you go forward, give yourself dodge, and since it counts as a song skill technically, it bleeds the target. So you can actually set up your own gargantuan finale. Why does this path do finale better than soloist? Real talk. Real talk, dude. The soloist hit the whole team? No! Weird. Alright. I'm tired. But thank you for watching. Take a look at Audrey on the way out. Big video. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you like the changes. Let me know what mods you've tried that you like. And if you got ideas for video formats and stuff, I'm going to be going forward making some mod stuff this week in terms of videos. So you're going to get that and the obsession guide. Now I got to edit this. It's going to be like an hour long. I can already tell. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.